morning, good evening, good afternoon, welcome. Doing the wrong intro. What's going on? And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition, another group here of LiuLi Cup, the Grand Finals 2025 Group D. I'm of course your ZvP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players and by the people in the chat as well. Welcome, one and all. I may have just woken up, so I'm a little God, I'm still looking in, but welcome one and all. If you have any of those, I do apologize last night for not being able to cover the Wardy TV Monday. We did actually have to reschedule. We spoke about it yesterday during LiuLi Cup, but I felt like I was on the brink of losing my voice, so unfortunately was unable to cover Wardy TV Monday. We'll be rescheduling and covering that another day. Otherwise, we're live with the final group of the group stage of LiuLi Cup. Here we go. For those that are maybe a little bit unfamiliar with the event, LiuLi Cup is a monthly tournament that was running throughout the course of 2025, and it led into the grand finals, which did take place this year, right? 2025, there were all these events, players were accumulating points, they were getting greater standing, of course. And coming into this year, all the top players have been seeded into a massive group stage. Now they're facing off here and now to make it to the finals. We already have the majority of the players seeded through, but we have one group left, Group D. Let's go. Let us go as we do switch our scenes over and catch up on the group itself. And catch up with our matches. Here we go. We have 4 players here. It is going to be once again a GSL format group. 2 players will advance on. The other 2 will be knocked out of the tournament. Here we go again. It is the round 16 group D. First we have Serral versus Zoun in a ZvP. We followed by Classic versus Cure in a PvT. Oh boy, I feel like this is almost like the group of death here. Zoun is a little bit iffy when it comes to his current level of play, just because he is a little bit more inactive compared to the other players, but his highs are still very, very high. Likewise, Classic, he's one of the best players in the world. He is top 2 when it comes to EWC this year, or I guess last year. Serral, the reigning world champion. Cure, one of the best Terran players in the world at the moment as well, top 3 if not top 2. It's going to be a wild group. It's going to be a wild group here. Pure best of 3s, bear that in mind. 5 matches in total to determine who advances on and who is knocked out. Let's go. Let us go. Up first, we do have our ZvP. It is going to be Serral versus Zoun facing off in that first best of 3. Game 1 is going to be on White Rabbits. Let's go. Let us go. Bearing in mind that later on tonight, we are going to be live as well with the podcast. The podcast is going to be later on this evening. There's going to be a lot to catch up. On. But here we go. This morning in the top right hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Team Vitality. It is Zoun. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Finnish Zerg player, the red Zerg representing Basilisk. It is Serral. Let's go, Papi. Let us go. Just catching with the chat. I was about to call this a group of death. Yeah, pretty much. I think I would agree with that sentiment as well. I think in the other groups there were a little bit more clear delineations between the top and bottom players, but this one definitely is going to be a lot closer to call. And I'm curious to see how Zoun will adjust his approach. Once again, as we get into this group, Zoun, I'm still recalling his previous series against Raynor in the RSL, and Zoun was hyper aggressive. We saw so many different Glaive builds. I say so many, it was 4. It was 4 different Glaive builds, and Raynor did have a hard time keeping up. He had a hard time keeping up. He had time reacting, responding, defending, and surviving against Zoun, and did stumble his way through that series. Likewise, we have seen several fall to Glaive Adepts as well, whether it's to Classic, whether it's to Hero, so we'll see if Zoun embraces that Hero now, or if he goes for a different approach. You know, this is what, a couple of months later after the fact, after the series against Raynor, and we'll see how he does kind of adapt, how he does adjust. Likewise, I'm sure that Serral was watching that series during the RSL. I'm sure he was watching Raynor's matches, so I'm sure that's also going to be in the back of his mind. Bearing in mind as well that they also did face off during LiuLi Cup. True. But now though, Hatch Gas Pool going to be opening up. Well, actually, never mind. I was in my mind, I was thinking that they were in the same group, but I believe it was Serral versus SOS. SOS was in the same group, not quite Zoun. He was in a different group. True. But either, Hatch Gas Pool standard opening here out of Serral. Likewise, Zoun opening up Gate Expand. Everything's looking normal. Everything's looking as it should be. We have the pylon in the main base looking like a Stargate opener out of Zoun. And from here, we'll see where we tech up. We're expecting Stargate into a third base, but the follow-up tech is what I'm most curious about. Also, welcome to White Rabbit. So White Rabbit is one of the larger maps in the map pool, longer rush distance by ground. If Serral wanted to be aggressive and wanted to be more in the face of Zoun, it'll be a little bit more difficult on this map. Against Serral, he has been known to be aggressive and to even go for all-ins in ZvP. We saw that in his series against Classic as well. The idea that Serral does macro and only macro is something that was applicable to Serral a couple of years ago, right? I want to say 2024 or 2025, and now coming into 2026, Serral, he's a little more of a well-rounded player that is willing to cheese, that is willing to be aggressive, that is willing to be hyper assertive here in all matchups. He's a changed man. Still known for his macro for sure, but again, more willing to be cheesy if need be, to mix it up. Oh, hello. Meanwhile, that's going to be a Void Ray opener. Okay, so Stargate, none to Oracle, but into Void Ray. Zoun is going to be hunting down the initial Overlord. You can see the rally immediately towards the natural, and the goal is to hide the tech. Hide the follow-up, and make sure that Serral is unaware as to what's going on. This can lead into a second Stargate, into Mass Void Ray. It can lead into a Fleet Beacon, into a Tempest Rush. It can lead into a Twilight Council, into Glaive Adepts, or it can lead into a third base, into a standard game. Doesn't have to be hyper aggressive. It could just be a standard game as well. It could just be mind games. Clear. Now we have proof that Light is the Robocaster totally running on the script. Ah, true. I mean, but if that was true, then I wouldn't have misspoken at the start, though. I would have said it correctly. Unless I loaded in the wrong script. True. Yeah. But now the Void Ray is revealed. Does catch a couple of lings. Does hunt down the initial Overlord. Zoun is expanding. And again, what do we go from here? That is an early Twilight Council. Okay, so early Council. So far, this does look like Glaives. It looks like Glaive Adepts. We did assume that at the start of the series. If you remember, we were harping on the fact that Zoun did Glaive. Oh, never mind. That is not Glaives. We were harping on the fact that Zoun did Glaive Adept the hell out of Raynor previously, but no, this is an early Forge. Glaive Adept just does not coincide with Forge. So this looks like early charge. Looks like an early charge build. But we'll keep an eye on Zoun. Often early Blink doesn't come with an early Forge. Usually you delay it. But no, there it is. Blink is on the way. So early Blink, early Forge. Based on the timings here, it does mean that Blink is going to finish very early. It means that Zoun could be aggressive and assertive very early as well. And I'm curious to see if this leads into an 8 gate. So we'll see if Zoun takes his gases at the third base, and we'll see if he throws down extra gateways. We'll see if he goes for a 3 base all in. So Zoun, he has my attention. Again, and we do have extra gateways on the way. What's perplexing to me is that usually an 8 gate hits without the Forge and without the upgrades, just because you need to get your Robo out. Or actually, no, sorry. Usually an 8 gate is without the Robo as well. Okay. So we have 6 gateways so far. Oh, okay. Now it's all coming together here. So we're building up to 6 gateways, kind of a decent amount of gateways. Behind this, rushing into a bay into Colossus production. Okay. Let's go. Got my attention. Now, my big concern at this point is, so we rush into early tech, and we're rushing now into even greater tech as well. Is Zoun going to be applying any pressure, though? Serral is freely droning. Serral, he drones up to 66. That is 3 base saturation. Serral, it looks like he delays droning at his 4th base a little bit here, a little bit paranoid about aggression. I don't blame him. Lings, they get across the map. They confirm the Stalkers. They confirm there's no Adepts or charge. Yeah, big scout for Serral. Then he drones. He backs off, he drones up, Infestation Bit's on the way, Eva Chamber's on the way as well. So it looks like Serral, he was playing very safe, and because of that, his economy and his tech is not ideal, but now he knows, right? Now he knows, okay, Blink Stalkers. Now he knows he's safe to drone, safe to tech. As Serral, he was playing a little bit overly safe by delaying his Evo Chambers and investing into all these Zerglings. Blink is done, so these Stalkers are going to be able to get away. Serral just now droning up to 80. Getting his 5th base. Taking extra gases. And there is going to be a power spike here for Zoun once he builds up his Colossus. There's going to be 2 and then 4 Colossi. So we'll have that power spike. Currently, Serral, I believe, is unaware. Yeah, he's unaware as to whether it's Storm or Colossus or Archons. But now just focusing on his Ling Hydra. With the earlier infestation pits... Oh, wait, did we cancel? Oh, never mind. Okay, the infestation pit was cancelled. Going double upgrades instead. Interesting. Okay. I assumed that we were going to be taking up into Hive and in towards... There we go, in towards Lurkers. Now we get the infestation pit. This was delayed. Well, it's cancelled. Nice around. Nice cancel. Serral denying the expansion. Serral, he's about to max out. He's about to max out. He's fixated purely on army production. He's done droning. We got drop lords on the way. And it's going to be a tough hold here for Zoun. We'll see if he can keep up. As Zoun is posturing, Serral was maxed. We have Ling Hydra towards the left, and drop lords on the right. Zoun does decide to push, actually. Serral can set up for a surround. Where are the Banelings? Okay, so it's going to be pure Ling Hydra. Only 2 Colossus. We have a 3rd Colossus coming in. Saber's right behind this. Zoun, can he pull this off? Although this will come down to the stasis. Hopefully everything's okay. Yeah, Serral collapsing in. Yeah, it does collapse in. Does get the full surround, and yeah, he's gonna get the surround here. Stalkers are going down. The Colossus, can they hold their own? Up the Hydras, they barely break through. Yeah, just barely. The Prism is gonna be denied. No warping. Colossus falls, and with that, Serral, he will clean up the entire army. Ay. Yeah, just a brutal surround here. Zoun will lose everything. He could not afford this. And Serral can just keep pushing. He just keep on pushing, keep on going. He doesn't have enough reinforcements left over, unfortunately, so he has to back off and regroup. There is no Lurker 10, so he can't really tech up into high-tech Lurkers, but it's fine. He can just remax. He can just rebuild, remax. It came down to one big push. And Zoun, he can't recover from that. I mean, he's making 2 Colossus at a time, and that will help. But that was such an expensive army for Zoun. Losing 3 Colossus, 29 Stalkers. The Prism as well. True, now we can drop. Now we can go for the drop. True. The army loads up. Jumping into the main base, so Zoun does spot this. Is aware. But can Zoun defend? Is going to be able to defend his main. Does have 2 Colossus in position, but at the same time, the 3rd base is under fire. And there's no saving this. Yeah, no shot. We have a couple of sentries, a couple of Stalkers in position. The probe's going to be going down. Drop is cleaned up in the main base. And Zoun, he will save the expansion at least, but he does lose the mineral line. 12 probes do fall. Oh, and the drop lords looks like the units to survive. Did pull out in the end. Did survive. Now the Hive is done. We have a couple of safety Vipers. Yeah, 2 Vipers so far. As the Doom drops, they just keep coming. Nice find in Cloud. Can we get a Colossus? Vipers, a threat and a dive. Yeah, Lurkers have now arrived. Now, once again, nice flying clouds. And it's all or nothing here for Zoun. This is the final army that he has. At the same time, the main base is falling. He'll lose the main. He'll lose his economy. His tech as well. Looks like Zoun can at least kill an expansion. But the Lunkers are moving in. There's no detection. No. No. Okay, Observer's coming in. Observer is now going to be coming in. But Lurkers are turning away. Yeah, the Queen's move in as well. Zoun, he's being very efficient with this army. He's picking up a lot of Lings, a lot of Hydras. A lot of units are going down. But at the same time, back at home, he'll lose everything. GG gets called, and Serral will take game number 1. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Again, very safe play out of Serral. Winding it back here. Serral, remember, he delayed his upgrades quite heavily. He went for a Roach Opener into Ling Hydra. He eventually scouted, confirmed what was going on, and then he started droning. He cut workers at 66 initially, so he was playing very, very safe. Cutting workers early on, teching up and staying on a layer tech composition for a long time as well. Then he scouted, confirmed, went into double upgrades. He maxed out on Ling Hydra, and very fortunate that he had a setup for a surround. He wasn't actually planning to surround, he was planning to counterattack. He was setting up drop lords on the right and a push on the left, and then suddenly Zoun moved out, and Serral was set up perfectly for that surround. GG. GG, well played. With that, Serral does take the first game, and we're going to be loading into game number 2. Let's go. When it comes to Zoun's builds, I was on the fence on it 100%, just because we got early blink, we got the early +1, but if you remember, he never really made use of blink early on. He stayed at home. He stayed at home and he just built up towards the Colossus timing instead. So I feel like the build itself did allow Serral to be quite greedy, or allowed him to drone up, be greedy. There was very little pressure on Serral outside of the actual move out. But let's go. Let us go. This morning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Team Vitality. It is Zoun. And this morning in the top left hand corner here of Winter Madness, we have the Finnish Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing Basilisk. It is Serral. Hatchcast Pool, send the opener out of our Zerg player. Welcome to Winter Madness. Winter Madness is another one of these larger maps, another map that's known for longer and later games. If Zoun wanted to be more defensive and turtle up into Sky Toss, I could see that being viable here on Winter Madness, but I do feel like the best chance for Zoun, especially considering his strengths in the matchup as well, is earlier aggression. We didn't really see that last game. Yes, we kind of led into this like 3 Colossus timing, and that's true, but at the same time, in the lead up to that, Serral was left to his own devices. So he was left alone, he could do whatever he wanted, he could drone up freely. There was very little pressure on Serral. So I'm hoping we do adjust. Let's go. As we are going to be settling in. So far, the openers are standard, and we do expect to see Zoun once again go for a Stargate, but it's the follow-up here that I'm most curious by. Hello. Interesting pylon. Okay. Zoun throws down his pylon behind his mineral line. So usually if it's a Stargate opener, you throw down the pylon closer to the edge to reduce the time it takes for the Oracle to get across the map. For the pylon to be thrown down here, yep, I was about to lead into this, it is the high tech instead. Behind the mineral line, it is a Twilight Council. So again, already telegraphing that with the pylon placement. Zoun being very cheeky. And he also did open Stalker to deny the scout as well. So the Overlord scout is denied. Serral now knows something is weird, something is wrong. You do not often open up Stalker like this. The downside of opening up Stalker like this is that it means that your adepts are delayed, and that means that there's no adept harass across the map. So Serral can drone up very freely. He can drone up freely without too much issue. The downside, of course, is Serral is playing blind. It's playing blind, and oh, we have earlier blink. Okay, once again, it's, I mean, much earlier than last game, but very early blink here from Zoun. Interesting. This should be leading to a 2-base all-in. Just a straight up 2-base all-in with mass blink stalkers. This is a very unique build, very quirky. You don't often see 2-base blink, but okay. Show us what you got. I would imagine this builds up into 5 or 6 gateways. So far we have 4. So 4 gate blink. Yep, up to 5. And I believe we can afford up to 6. I don't believe we can afford any more than that. So 5 gateways so far. Oh, there it is. 6th gateway. So 3 here at the natural and 3 in the main. 6 gates in total. I believe you can also reinforce with slow lots as well, which can be quite effective. Safety roach one out of Serral, very safe. Doesn't cut corners. Against Serral, he has no idea what's going on, and I would imagine that in the back of his mind, he's thinking Adepts, right? He's thinking Glaive Adepts, or he's thinking Dark Templar. There it is, spores on the way, just in case it is DTs. Stalkers do have a lot of micro potential, that is true. Now moving out. And Serral has still yet to confirm. Oh, does he? Yeah, does he? Does confirm all the Stalkers, he knows. And back in, we need as many Lings as possible, Lings and Roaches. Zoun is moving out. He's got his 6 gateways. Do not overlooked. Trying to supply block. Does supply block. Serral's racing back home. We got 6 Roaches on the way. But now just trying to buy some time. Roaches are popping out. Oh no! Catching one. Yeah, one Roach gets picked up. Nice pick up here by Zoun. Does catch a couple of drones. Lings are coming from behind. Blink is done. Bear that in mind. But there's no Oracle support. Oh, almost getting a Ravager. Almost. Got a chance to use. Ravager goes down. Lings away for a surround. Trying to catch out the Stalkers. Going to be collapsing in. So far, nice wing control. Nice juggling as well. It does beat out a couple of Stalkers. But I believe that was one. Yeah, one. One Stalker going down so far. The efficiency, baby. So far, so good, but the Stalker's getting low. They're getting very low here. Oof. As another Stalker does go down. A 3rd Stalker as well. The game is getting a bit out of hand here. One wrong move and Zoun, he will lose this army. Again, it's very fragile. Speaking of, another Stalker gets picked off. Ay. Oh, the target firing. Okay. Very nice. Yeah, GG gets called though, but despite the target firing, Zoun, he preserves all the Stalkers. He still breaks through, and Zoun ties up the series 1-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, a very unique all-in here by Zoun. As I tried to emphasize, 2-base Blink and 2-base Blink all-ins are very uncommon. They're very, very uncommon, to the point where I don't think I've seen anyone do this except for Trigger recently. If you remember, Trigger did defeat Raynor with a variation of this build, at LiuLi Cup. It was on Tourmaline, if you remember. Actually, it was 2 games in a row. It was 2 games in a row that Trigger did something similar to this against Raynor, and GG, well played. Again, unfortunately, Serral, he was getting caught out as he was producing his Roaches, as he was producing his Ravagers as well, so some hefty losses there, and his commitment with his Lings was, you could argue, premature. He dove in with Lings for this round, and he lost everything, and he only killed 1 Stalker, so had the efficiency back. Towards the end, Zoun was losing Stalkers, that is true, but that was only towards the end. He had already broken through. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into our ace match here, and we'll see if Zoun can close it out. We'll see if Serral can bounce back. As spawning in the bottom hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the blue Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss. We have the South Green Protoss. Tying up the series, it is Zoun. And spawning in the top hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg player, the Finnish Zerg representing Basilisk. It is Serral. Here we go. Once again, Zoun with a very cheeky build in game 2, going for a 2-base 6-gate Blink Stalker all in. And again, he had multiple ways to micro. He had his Blink and he had his Prism juggling as well. Crazy, man, crazy. And we're expecting something aggressive here as well on 10,000 feet. This is one of the smaller maps in the map pool, and I feel like the early and mid game are where Zoun can thrive. Let's go. Hello, CranKy. Have a nice stream. Thank you, man. Thank you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you enjoy the broadcast. Yeah. We're wearing our GG well played. What do you mean? So far, again, hatch gas full, save the opener here out of Serral, likewise down, back at him, going for his own gate expand. Everything's looking normal so far. Pylon is thrown down at a much more standard location. If you recall last game, one of the big tells of something weird was going on was a pylon behind the mineral line, but here instead it is further towards the edge of the main base, looking more like a Stargate. Speaking of Stargate opening out of Zoun. From here, we're expecting oracles, especially based on the rally. If it was a void ray, we would expect the rally to be over towards the natural to hunt down the overlord once again. So far, out of all games in this series, this is looking the most standard. So far, at least. Saying too many times? I honestly don't notice, but sure. Oh no. Oh, as that does move in. Catching out one drone. Very nice pickup. As Zoun does pull away. Does pull away. This time Serral going to be slipping in towards the bases. Despite the fact that we do have a standard opener here, this can still lead into early tech. It can lead into a third base and into an earlier Twilight Council. It's crucial here that Serral does confirm what exactly is going on, especially based on what happened last game. Overlord tries to dip in. Zoun does expand. Serral getting eyes on gases. Doesn't see much else. Isn't able to see any further tech or pylon placements. Now just droning, saturating. Third base has been thrown down. And once again, Twilight Council in a Forge at an earlier time here. This is looking very similar to Game 1. Game 1, if you recall, we saw early +1, we saw early Blink in towards Colossus. We'll see if this is the same build, otherwise early Charge is on the table. As I mentioned previously, going for an early Forge like this means we should not be going into Glaive Adepts. So either Blink or Charge. Both oracles move out. They can one-shot drones, getting 1, 2, 3 drone kills. Oh. Catching out 3 workers. Behind this, we have confirmation is going to be +1 on Blink. Have confirmation, 2 more gateways being thrown down. We have 4 gates in total. Nothing crazy. There's the Robo. And again, Game 1, this led into Colossus. And we'll see if that's the case here as well. Now, if the plan is to build up into 3-base Colossus and to push across the map with 3 Colossi again, I do think it's going to hit stronger here on 10,000 feet, something that we didn't get to at least talk about here, but this is a small map. It's the smallest map, or I should say the shortest rush distance map in the map pool. Few bases, small map in general here, so these pushes can hit very strong, they can hit very hard, they can hit very fast. There are pros and cons when it comes to being more defensive here, but Serral is taking up faster than last time. Very fast infestation bit. Okay, the pits alongside the Hydrogen. Serral is droning. is saturating. Serral is cutting more corners this time. And it is the same build. We have the second Robo and the Bay. It is going to be Colossus. So if you weren't here for the beginning of the series, Zoun went for this very same build in game 1, but he got surrounded. He was being very active, very aggressive. He pushed out with 3 Colossus and he got surrounded, he got shut down. Serral, if you recall, was being safe for that game. He delayed his infestation, but he delayed his hive, he delayed his tech because he was playing scared. This time though, Serral, he's a little more confident. This time he's droning, he's a little more secure as to what's going on. He's taking up a lot faster, and he will get away with it. If you recall, my big criticism when it came to this build from Zoun is that even though he got early blink, he's not being active with these stalkers. He's staying back home defensive, and he's allowing Serral to drone up to 80. Speaking of Serral, he does have 9 more drones on the way, building up to 86. So 86 workers, a faster lurker den this time, faster hive, faster vipers. Serral, he's perfecting his army, and this time he won't have to rely on a surround. Zoun finally being active with these stalkers, clearing up some creep. Oh, Stasis goes off. Zoun is setting up for his push. We mentioned earlier, but the rush distance by ground is very short, and it won't take long here for Zoun to move out across map with those Colossi, but he has to wait. He has to wait, and in doing so, there are going to be lurkers available. Now, these are going to be lair tech lurkers. Bear that in mind. First Viper's on the way. It's going to be close. Yeah, it's going to be a clutch time. Never mind. I was like, it's going to be a clutch timing, assuming that Zoun will be moving out with 4 Colossus, but the answer is no. We have a Fleet Beacon, a Stargate, a Temple... Gee, we're throwing down all the tech. Temple Archives as well for Storm, and building up into Sky Toss. And this means that Serral, he will get away with not just Hive Tech, but also the Hive upgrades. Lurker upgrades are on the way. There's going to be a window in time where Serral can hit with Lurkers, with Hive Tech Lurkers, before Sky Toss is really a factor. Ay, ay, ay. And again, Zoun's just being so passive this game. We had that one move out with Stalkers, and that's it. And it really just cleared up creep. And we'll see if we can get away with it. We'll see if we can get away with it taking up into Sky Toss. Tempest production has begun. Wings, they poke in. They confirm the Colossus at least. Now, on the one hand, I would say that trying to break a turtling Protoss player on 10,000 feet is very difficult. You can see here that the 4 bases are very centralized. So unlike on other maps, you're typically more spread out. But here, all 3 bases, or your 4 bases, are all close together. They're all close together. So the army can easily respond to the 2 attack paths. Lurkers are denied mining, but Tempest are now revealed. Tempest are revealed. Serral has to pull away. Now taking up Ultra Cavern, Spire, taking more bases. I do appreciate this out of Serral. He's not taking this lying down. He's not going to play passive. We do have some drop lords on the way. This is a really good way to make use of this army. Right now, Ling Hydra Lurker is going to have a hard time breaking this entrenched position. Drop lords are a way to bypass that. So we have our 6 drop lords. Getting ready for the dive. At the same time, Lurkers moving in towards the expansion, towards the mineral line. But now they're revealed, causing a distraction. Yeah, they divert the entire army here towards the left-hand side. Lurkers in the range of the mineral line. They do get in. At the same time, here comes a drop. Going for the main. It's going for the main base. Oh, nice feedback. Nice feedback. Denies the Viper. 11 probes going to be going down. Dropping to the main base. There is a reactive warp in. And Zoun, he will defend. Can he counterattack? As Zoun, he will clean up this entire army. Every lurker here is going to fall. There's no escape. No. He's not going to be able to get away. Does trade with the Stalkers. Doesn't get the High Templar. And Serral doesn't get damage in the main. And now it's go time. Like, this would be the time to counterattack. Is there a War Prism? There is. Yeah, there is a War Prism. It's low. Zoun did lose the expansion though. True. Did lose the base. Zoun has momentum, but is staying home. It is staying home here. You could argue that it's risky to push out with this kind of army without too much of a gateway buffer, but remember, there's a recall available. Like, there would be a recall available. You can move out, even just to deny creep, right? Just to clear up the center of the map, deny creep, or even deny some of the fringe bases. But Zoun does stay back. And Serral is building up. This time into 5 more ultras. Into what should be Corruptor soon. They're just now getting a second Spire. Building up more upgrades, going for another drop. This time finding a little bit more damage. I say that. He got a couple of Zealots. He got a cannon. Not much else. And so he's being allowed to take these center expansions. Okay. Taking bases, more drop play. Looks like Zoun is now pushing out. He's maxed. Now, the scary thing about being maxed out as a Protoss player in this position is that Zoun can no longer reactively warp in, right? He's maxed out, so he cannot warp in back at home defensively. That may be a concern. As he's pushing on creep. Lurkers on the left. Jumping to the main base. Damage is being done. Contamination here on +3. Ay, ay, ay. And as we mentioned, Zoun, he can't warp in. He cannot warp in defensively. This time, damage is finally being done. Zoun pushing in onto ultras. Massive fungals. He's getting caught out. He's getting caught out. The ultras, they collapse on the army. High Templar go down. The Grand Army just crumbles. He's being cleaned up. Ay, ay, ay. And the Tempest will survive, but only the Tempest. Yeah, only the Tempest here. Zoun, he will lose everything. The main base in shambles. No mining here at the 4th. Tempest are all that remain. And Zoun, who's just torn apart. He was just torn apart here. Ay, ay, ay. This is often why some top Protoss players do actually intentionally leave supply to warp in. They intentionally leave supply. At the same time, Zoun could have recalled earlier. He could have respected this a little bit harder. Alas, did not. And again, Zoun, he lost everything. Losing more bases, more expansions. Serral, he has gained map control. I believe he has no Greater Spire. No, sorry, there is. Yeah, there is a Greater Spire. Although he's fine, he's content here with Corruptor Ultra. And Zoun's in a brutal position here. He is rebuilding his High Templar and Archons, which is great and all, but it's going to take so long for this to happen. It took so long to max out initially. And here come the Broodlords. Here come the Broodlords. More drops into the main. Surrounds the army, catching up the Stalkers. Brutal trades. Another contamination. +3 is just never going to finish. I believe that was the second contamination, baby. Ay, ay, ay. Feels +3, man. Lurker does pick in once again, keeping Zoun busy. Serral just perfecting his army. Now with Broodlords, he can abuse this position, this ravine, I should say, to hit the mineral line and trying to punish the Tempest. And try to punish. As we built up more Broodlords, we need less Ultras. Here they're being thrown away. Was a kill, not a cancel. Zoun, he has built up a solid army here with now Immortals in the mix. Archons, there are only a handful of High Templar. Unfortunately, there's still no Mothership, so this army has a little bit less utility. Less mobility as well. So it's not ideal. But I can pick away the expansion. Again, Zoun has to be so careful here. He's pushing into a field of infestors. There's 7 infestors ready for their fungals. Neural is resource as well. So Neural can be a factor. And Serral's playing very safe. Very safe. He did give up on his center expansions. Didn't try to save them. And on the one hand, the switch into Broodlord Infestor did give Zoun a lot of time to regroup and rebuild. That is true, but Serral has kind of perfected his army. Like, this is what you want at this stage of the game. Broodlord Infestor, Ultra Viper. You could argue maybe an extra Viper. This is what Serral wants to work with. Mothership is now on the way. Serral hoping to catch the army. Base goes down. Broodlord's looking to move in. Now, when it comes to Zoun's setup here, he likewise has to be very careful with how he maneuvers. I'm a little bit concerned about the lower High Templar counts. He's going to be heavily reliant on feedbacks, on catching at the Infestors, catching at the Vipers, likewise on pulling back those Tempests, making sure it doesn't get caught up by Fungals. Now that he has a Mothership, he does have potential to recall across the map and recall back home. Likewise, he has Cloak. I'll just move in. Here it comes. Oh, no abduction. Nice punish out of Zoun. Again, you have to play slow and steady. The problem here is that Zoun is coming into the late game from behind, right? Because of the early to mid game that we all experience here, Serral has a massive bank. He has a 5k bank. That's his big advantage. The reason why Zoun has almost no bank, especially when it comes to gas, is because he's had to rebuild his army twice. And that's why coming into the late game, Zoun is at such a disadvantage. Meanwhile, Serral takes both center expansions. That's the win condition, essentially. Serral, he will have more economy than his opponents by an extra 2 bases. And as long as Zoun never takes those expansions, Serral should win this game. Oh, nice feedback. Now, the one chance here that Zoun has, a War of Attrition isn't really going to work his way, but what he can do is win one big fight, and because this map is so small, if he can win a fight decisively enough, he can counterattack and knock down 1, 2, 3 bases. That should be Zoun's goal here. You know what, base recall gets used. Bear that in mind. So 1 recall is on cooldown. Center hatchery does full. At this point, this base is already mined out. Oh, Zoun's out of position. Uh-oh. Zoun, he will lose his expansion. Remember, recoil's on cooldown. We're base trading. Okay. Aye. We're going for the base trade. Zoun, he will lose bottom left. At the same time, he's pushing top right. We're trading bases. Assuming we do. Never mind. Serral turns back around. He turns around. Internally, Serral should understand as well that this army cannot recoil back home. A little bit messy. Okay, catching up the army. Down, he picks off top right, turns around, and he will make it back home. Whew, okay, does make it back. Again, a little bit indecisive here from Serral. I do believe the Serral could have taken down bottom left without too much issue. Looks like he still will. Potentially not. Serral's reaction earlier was too late to save the base itself. So in the end, that was a nice move out of town. It was a nice move. He didn't lose his base, he didn't lose his mineral line, and he killed Serral's. Killed two, actually. True. Now we need more of that. As again, it is still very much an uphill battle here for Zoun. Now, Zoun does not have to expand here in the center yet, but okay, so we're envisioning like best case scenario for Zoun. He denies center right, he denies top right as well, he mines out bottom left, and then once he's finished mining this out, then he can start expanding on the right hand side instead, and kind of expand with his army. That would be the goal here, or that would be the ideal for Zoun. Is just deny these bases, ensure that there are going to be resources left over here, and then try to take them later. If he tries to expand at this point, Zoun will be spread too thin. He's spread too thin. That's a kill, not a cancel. He's going for the expansion. I don't see him defending bottom left if he takes it, I'll be honest, but we'll see. Oh, getting an Archon. Every unit counts. Pays off one Archon. Dark Shrine is on the way. As he does catch out the Tempest. Not bad, getting one, getting two. Oh, just one. Catching out one Tempest. The rest of the army has to get the hell out of here. Corruptor's going for the dive. And does get one. And one, two, up. Three, up to four Tempests go down. Massive pickups. Ay. Yeah, Zoun getting picked apart. At the same time, nice feedbacks. Okay. Three feedbacks on the infestors, getting a fourth feedback, storming the army. Decent pickups there by Zoun, but the problem is Zoun, he just lost what? 4 High Templar. And Zoun, he has no bank. He has no bank, Patty. Like, this was a better fight for Zoun, 100%. Like, he picks off infestors, corruptors, broodlords, he bullies back the army. But Zoun, he has to kill. This is it. He's gonna keep pushing. Oh, don't get distracted. No. Base goes down, and the problem is Zoun, he has 600 gas. Like we can't drag this out. We can't do that, Pat. We have no money. Gets one, gets two ultras. Oh, the burrow. Zoun is pushing on the right-hand side. Expanding with his army, at least trying to. So that's the top base. As I mentioned before, trying to expand here and also defending bottom left, it's going to be difficult. Massive fungal on the stalkers. Catching out the army with the chain fungals. Oh my god. Yeah, they're getting caught out. Brood Lords, they dominate. Zoun pushing center left. Let's go. Getting a fresh mining base. Yeah, gosh. As he moves in on one side, Serral moves in on the other. Zoun is holding though. Okay. Zoun is holding on. Serral's pushing on the right hand side. He's got 10 infestors. There's no energy for a recall. Zoun is in the center. And Zoun might lose both expansions here. Yeah. Brood Lords to take care of the center base. Ling Ultra towards bottom left. And Serral pulls out. Let's pull out, let's pull away. Again, for the most part, what you see is what you get for Zoun. That's been the case for the past, what, 15 minutes? Does have one big fight in him. Once again, it's going to be on those spell cashers. Will be on the Tempest Volleys. Positioning. Serral tempted to dive. If he wanted to, he could actually just keep counterattacking, actually. He could... I mean, we'll see, we'll see. It's always risky. Like, embracing a base trade. And now he's just keeping up with the army. Does have a harassing force. Zoun rotates to the center. Shows a fungal. Another Templar. Yeah, Templar getting caught out. Massive pickups. Getting 1, 2, 3. Getting all 4 head Templar. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, no more Templar. We collapse in. We commit to the fight. And with that Tempest, they're all going down. Massive fungal as well. Brood Lords just go to town in the army. We're running out of Corruptors, but it's still going to be enough. Yeah, still enough here. Every Tempest falls. Oof. Just a Mothership remaining. And again, that was just a brutal engagement. Brutal engagement. The High Templar, they were the first things to go down. And the Brood Lords, they dominate back. They dominate. They keep going. God damn it, Serral. As Serral takes another big fight, he cripples the army. And he's going to stay back. He's waiting for reinforcements. He could just keep pushing here, but again, he doesn't know what he's moving into. Send it, Pappy, send it. Believe in yourself. as he's responding to the Stalkers. And does pull back, does respond. Once again, Zoun, he's out of money. He does have one base mining, true. Does have a base. Likewise, once again, counter-attacking. Serral this time, though, he should break down the center expansion. And he will. Takes out the Nexus. And he doesn't turn around. Let's go. He's not turning around. As it ultras to defend. Keeps on pushing. Going for another expansion. The last mining base here for Zoun. Technically, Serral also has no mining. True. Down to 2 hatcheries. Limited larva. Oh god. Oh, the move command. Oh, Jesus. As we throw away every single infestor. Serral, calm down. That's what 7, 8 infestors being thrown away. As just mentioned, Serral doesn't have a lot of larva. He's down to 2 hatcheries. He's getting caught out. Serral turns around. It's going to be a messy end to the game here, but once the Broodlords arrive, he should clean this up. Should be able to clean this up. Despite that, still losing expansions. Production's being camped. We're getting messy, Pappy. Very messy. ¿A dónde está Ronaldo? There we go. And now Serral can just focus on the main fight. Land the chain fungals. Stalkers, they try to get away. GG gets caught, and Serral, he will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the winners match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. An intense back and forth here between Serral and Zoun. Once again, to go all the way to the ace match. When it came to the early to mid game, Serral, he did have a much more dominant performance. We did try to emphasize that Serral, he was able to win some big major engagements, pull off some big counterattacks as well, referring specifically to the moment where he was able to get into the main base with the Doom Drop. At the same time, Zoun, he was maxed. Remember, he was maxed out, so he could not defend back at home. He could not warp in, despite honestly having a really clean defense before that. He failed to defend in the aftermath. He lost his mineral line, he lost his base, he lost his army as well, and that did happen in 2 big moments. And it meant that Zoun, he had no momentum. So even though we did end up in a 30-minute game, Zoun, he stumbled his way into the late game. Once he got there, I was impressed by some of his moves, by his rotations, his arm rotations, his main army fights as well. If you remember, he did win like what, two big major engagements and was out positioning Serral. But the problem was the lead up to the late game meant that he had no bank to work with, right? He had no bank, he had no resources, he had limited bases, especially on 10,000 feet. So despite Zoun tightening things up towards the end of the game, it didn't really matter as much just because of the deficit that he was playing with. GG. GG, and with that, Serral, he will claim the series. He'll advance on into the winners match. Up next, we have our next best of 3. It's going to be a best of 3 between Classic and Cure. Let's go. Let us go. We are going to be loading on in. Game 1 is going to be on Winter Madness.